Howdy, strangers, and welcome back to the Nightly Show with Taco. Even if it's not nighttime, you're still here. So, once again, BRM5 was updated, and along with the quest update, became along some balance changes. Now, this isn't the first time we had some balance changes. In fact, quite a while back, I talked about some of the balance changes that was given. But this video is going to be significantly longer because they changed every single gun. That's right, every single gun has been changed in some way, shape, or form. And I'm going to talk about every single one, whether it's a buff or a nerf, how, maybe some guns that how I would change them personally, and such. So let's just go ahead and get started, because I'm sure this is going to be a very, very long video. So starting us off, as a fan favorite, so far from what I've seen, is the HK416. Headshot damage was lowered from 78 to 77, torso damage lowered from 45 to 38, arms and legs damage lowered from 31 to 28, with a velocity increase from 1,957 to 2,523, range increase of 1,215 to 2,128, ergonomics from 57 to 46, recoil from 42 to 44. Now, this makes the HK416 a 3-shot to torso, still a 2-shot to head. And went from being and no, it's still a 4-shot, so I'm trying to think what they really changed. There's not much that has really changed the stats. It's basically the same gun, but has slightly less damage. Still 2-shot to head, 3-shot to torso, and 4-shot men. Yeah, nothing really changed with the HK416. Its recoil got a little bit worse. Still has plenty of attachments. HK416 will most likely still be a really good gun, fast fire rate. So yeah, it's a 4-shot gun, but already was a 4-shot gun. It was still really popular. So I'm pretty sure the HK416 is going to be fine. Moving along, hopefully I'm not going to take like a whole bunch of time on every single gun, because obviously I got to get through 36 guns in the game now, which is quite a bit, at least for this game. Anyways, moving on to the M16A4, headshot damage lowered from 90 to 88, torso damage from 60 to 46, arms and legs damage lowered from 35 to 34. Now, whenever I saw that the arms and legs damage lowered from 35 to 34, I thought for a second that it got its 3-shot removed. It was now a 4-shot minimum, and I was very upset about that, because not only were burst, like M16A2 and M16A4 are very rarely used, and I thought for a second, since they changed it from a 3-shot to a 4-shot, I was like, why would you nerf the guns that nobody ever uses and nobody really likes? Like, what is the purpose in doing that? But luckily, still a 3-shot, man. It got changed from a 2-shot to torso to a 3-shot, which, I mean, kind of whatever. Still a 2-shot headshot. So basically, 3-shot been gone, and it's a burst. These guns are really good. It's surprising how little people use the M16A4 and M16A2, because those guns are so underrated. Like, seriously, please give the M16A4 and M16A2 a chance. I'd recommend M16A4 because then you can actually put on an optic you would like and go from there. But, I mean, hey, not stopping from using M16A2. M16A4 also got its velocity increase from 2,680 to 3,097, range increase from 1,600 to 2,614, ergonomics from 49 to 44, and recoil slightly up from 32 to 33. So not really a big change there. Moving on to C7A2, a gun that's still going to be very good. Headshot damage lowered from 90 to 88, not that big of a deal. Torso from 60 to 46, so now it's a 3-shot to torso. Arms and legs damage lowered from 35 to 34, so still a 3-shot, man. So not that big of a deal, but nah. Velocity increased from 2,680 to 3,097. Range increased from 1,540 to 2,214. Ergonomics went from 49 to 50, so I don't know if that's an improvement or nerf. Like, ergonomics makes no sense, really. Like, even if it gets changed, it doesn't really affect your gameplay from us. I think it's supposed to affect, like, how quick you pull out, like, your weapon, or, like, switch between guns, but honestly, it doesn't really mean anything, so mostly just focus on recoil, reducing attachments. Recoil is from 35 to 37, but it's still going to be very low recoil, and just an absolute laser beam, and a 3-shot man with high fire rate. P72 is really good. That's all I can say. Now, next up, we have the P2K, which is a new gun that's added to the game. Headshot damage of 45, torso damage of 32, and arms and legs damage of 25. That is a 3-shot to the head and a 4-shot everywhere else. Now, granted, the gun is like, well, I think 1,200 cash, so it's very cheap. So, I mean, it's kind of like, not that big of a deal, but at the same time, really, like, this gun's absolutely terrible, so it's very sad that they had to do this to it. And yeah, it's even worse than the ump, which says a lot, because the ump is one of course to be the worst SMG in the game, and they added a gun that's even worse. Has a velocity of 1,317, range of 594, ergonomics of 57, a recoil of 43, which I think might be worse than the ump. maybe it's better. I don't know. Either way, gun's terrible. Like, yeah, it's a starter SMG. It's like it's really really cheap, even cheaper than the but just don't use it. I don't know why you would. It's terrible. Hopefully it gets a buff eventually. I think if I was the dev, I would change the P2K to have a headshot damage of at least 50. So at least it's a 2-shot head, and then make it like a 4-shot everywhere else, and I'd be fine with that. I feel like that would make a lot of sense. But honestly, at the same time, yeah, don't use it. Just don't use it. It's also, I think, the most lightweight gun in the game. Well, besides secondary, so it's got that going for it at least. AS Evolve. Next up, another fan favorite. Headshot damage lowered from 76 to 66, torso damage from 59 to 41, and arms and legs damage from 45 to 35. So it's still 2-shot head, and then it's a 3-shot everywhere else, I believe. Yes, I think my math is correct. So 2-shot, 3-shot. Very, very fast fire rate, absolute beam, yada yada yada. Velocity and range was slightly increased, 970 to 984, range increased from 980 to 1151. Ergonomics went from 53 to 46, and recoil was slightly up from 41 to 44. But the real big thing, which is going to make the AS fall a lot worse, is it also lost its 30 times mag, which is going to be a lot bigger of a deal than you'd expect due to the fact that the AS Evolve burns through ammo. Next up, we have the Benelli or the M1014. Headshot damage lowered from 38 to 33. Torso damage lowered from 28 to 23. Arms lowered from 17 to 15. And legs increased from 11 to 15. So damage from the arms and legs are about the same. I don't know exactly the pellets to kill. I believe it's like 4 pellets to the head to kill. 5 pellets to the torso to kill. Okay, so it's 4 pellets to the head to kill. It is 5 pellets to the torso to kill, and it's 7 pellets to the arms and legs to kill, which isn't that bad. I think it fires 8 pellets for 1 shell, so yeah, I don't know if they increased the spread as well. They didn't buff the fire rate, which I'll be getting into later for the AA-12, a little bit of spoiler there. Velocity was increased from 1,200 to 1,340. Range was slightly decreased from 500 to 492. Ergonomics stayed the same at 42. Recoil was up from 40 to 52, which really didn't mean too much. I mean, pump action, not really pump action, but semi. Whatever, not that big of a deal, basically, what I'm trying to say. Spread might have been increased, I don't really know. The spread feels a lot bigger, more like a firework almost, but I don't know. It'll still probably be really, really good in CQC. Hopefully it's a lot worse at range, rather than being a sniper. SR3M, the carbine version of the AS Vol, headshot damage of 61, torso damage of 38, arms and legs damage of 32, velocity 919, range of 1071, ergonomics of 48, recoil of 45. So you have slightly worse recoil in the AS Vol, which is 44, and this is stock stats, so they obviously can change. 2 shots to the head to kill, 3 shots to the torso, and 4 shot everywhere else. Now, this doesn't really sound so bad, especially when you consider that the SR3M can have a 30 times mag when the AS Vol no longer can. But you do have to kind of remember that with the high recoil and a high fire rate, the gun jumps quite a bit. It's a little bit difficult to control, I will admit. And granted, a 4-shot min and a 2-shot head doesn't sound that bad, but honestly, I find myself often hitting someone in the legs and then hitting a headshot and not getting a kill because 61 plus 32 is not a kill. So you have to hit them again, and it happens quite a bit, and it's not that big of a deal, and it's probably for the best that it can't, 1 shot to the limb and then 2 shot from limb to head, but, I'm still going to be upset about it. Next up, we have the Scar H, which was hit pretty heavily. Headshot damage went from 145 to 114, so it's still a 1-shot to the head. Torso went from 90 to 61. Still a 2-shot, granted a lot less damage. And its arms and legs damage went from 70 to 43, so now it's a 3-shot minimum gun instead of being a 2-shot, which, it feels weird. I'm gonna say that now. For having a battle rifle in the game like the Scar H for so long, and ever since I had been playing BRM5, the Scar H has always been a 2-shot min gun, so it feels really, really weird for it to being a 3-shot. Velocity got buffed from 2,042 to 2,624. Range increased from 1,968 to 2,936. Ergonomics went from 43 to 38, and recoil was slightly up from 56 to 59. Now we have the M16A2, which basically got the same treatment as the M16A4, so I'm going to kind of briefly go over it. I believe it's the exact same damage now, except the M16A4 can put on attachments, so yeah, whatever. If you like the M16A4, just buy the M16A. If you like the M16A2, buy the M16A4. It's basically just the M16A2, but you can put on attachments. Headshot damage is 80-88. Torso went from 55 to 46. Arm and leg from 40 to 34. Velocity went from 2,680 to 3,900. 3,097. Range from 1,540 to 2,614. Organized from went from 49 to 44. Recoil from 32 to 33. This is the exact same gun as the M6A4. Now we have the M4A1, which headshot damage is going to decrease from 85 to 84, so whoopie-doo. Torso from 48 to 43, okay. Arms and legs damage went from 31 to 31, arms went from 34 to 31, but if you still put on the extended barrel, you get 35 damage. So, M4A1 can still be a 3-shot gun with a lot of customization, low recoil, pretty good fire rate. I'd still say the M4A1 is like one of the best starter guns you can get now, due to the fact that other guns have been nerfed, which I'll probably get into later. But you know, M4A1, pretty good gun. That's all I gotta say. It's still a 2-shot to the head, 3-shot to the torso, and 3-shot to the limbs if you put on a standard barrel. But it's gonna be a 4-shot to the limbs if you don't. So put on the extended barrel, basically. Not much of a downside there. Velocity, I can't remember if I already covered this. I'm gonna do it again. 2,175 to 2,932. Range from 1,350 to 2,472. Ergonomics from 52 to 50. Recoil from 40 to 41. Not that big of a deal, really. Not much. A lot of stuff they've changed with the guns in the game, but honestly, not much has changed. Visually, yes, but if you still count up the damage and check the minimum shots to kill, not much has changed. They just kind of lowered the damage and stuff, so it looks like guns are worse, but really, probably about quite a bit of them are still the same. But some guns did get nerfed pretty bigly, pretty bad. MK18 headshot damage from 82 to 77, torso from 45 to 38, arms from 30 to 28, and legs from 28 to 28. So nothing changes there. Velocity 1,880, 2,518, range 890, 2,101, 2,117. Ergonomics from 56 to 47, recoil from 40 to 41. Still 2-shot head. It went from being a 3-shot to torso to a 3-shot to torso. Okay. And it's still a 4-shot to arms and legs. So this is what I mean. It looks like something changed, but really, it's the exact same thing. Actually has the same stats as the HK416 now that I'm looking at it. Huh. MK18 really is just the younger brother of the HK416. They have the exact same damage, stats-wise. MK18 has less recoil, but less fire rate. Just go with the MK18, honestly. Actually, I don't know. It could be... Never mind. I'm not going to get into this. This is not the video to get into a debate on which is better, MK18 or HK416. Maybe I'll do that some other time, but not now. Now, P90 got some major nerfs, which I really like. P90 went from headshot damage of 48 to 36, so went from being a 3-shot to head to 3-shot, so not much there. Torso from 32 to 24, which pretty big when you kind of think about it. Went from being a 4-shot to a 5-shot the torso. Wow. And went from arms damage of 32 to 19 and legs from 26 to 19. So it's a 6-shot now. The P90 is a 6-shot to limbs. Oh man, I love it. I really do. I really do love it. So at a bare minimum, you're gonna need. It's a 3-shot to a 6-shot. That is the P90 for you. At a max, you're going 3 shots, and at minimum, you're doing 6. Which, man, that feels good. Because that gun sucked. That gun did it to suck. It was really good. And I'm glad it got nerfed. Okay, it was kind of overrated. But its recoil did go from 29 to 24. Still got something out of it. Velocity was increased from 1,760 to 2,349. Range increased from 880 to 1,276. Ergonomics went from 47 to 54. Now, we have the G36, which is a gun that I am quite upset with. I'm quite upset with the changes that they made, and I'm going to elaborate on them in a second. Headshot damage went from 80 to 80, whatever. Torso went from 45 to 41, okay. Arms and legs went from 35 to 29. That's kind of a problem there, alright. So we went from being a 3-shot gun to down to a 4-shot. Alright, whatever. That's okay. I can deal with it as long as the G36 has low recoil. That is foreshadowing. G36 recoil went from 25 to 43. There's like no reason to use this gun now. The G36 was always like a really good gun that's kind of underrated that a lot of people use. Well, not really a lot of people use, but a good portion of the community probably use it. About maybe, I don't know. It wasn't the most uncommon gun to see in PvP is what I'm trying to say here. 3-shot min, very low recoil. Decent fire rate, not that bad, but right now there's just really no reason to use the G36. There's just better options out there. M4A1 at this point, I pick over it just so easily. More customization, lower recoil, 3-shot min, faster fire rate, probably. I haven't really checked, but probably has a faster fire rate. So, what would I do to fix the G36? Well, in my opinion, I would make the recoil go back to like on the lower end, alright? But you can keep the damage as the same. Now, here's kind of what I'm thinking. I feel like the G36 should be a low recoil gun, but it should take quite a bit of hits to kill. That way it actually has a place, and it's not basically just a useless gun. It doesn't have anything going for it right now. There's not really much of a reason to use it, in my opinion. But, I mean, it's still decent, you know, but it's just the recoil I'd lower back down. You can keep the 4-shot min, sure, why not? But that way you can make it a beam, and you can be like, alright, so yeah, the G36 may not do the most damage, but hey, it's got low recoil, so it can be pretty easy to hit your shots. That's just me, though. That's just what I think. Next up, we have the Fall, which I'm kind of mixed with, because once again, it's a battle rifle. Headshot damage went from 95 to 119, torso from 70 to 64, arms from 55 to 45, and legs from 60 to 45. Now, I really do like that it's one-shot headshot now, because that is something that bothered me for the longest time in Operation Viper. Whenever you put on extended barrel on the Fall, you did not have a one-shot headshot, despite looking like you did. It's like a 99.9 probably. So you couldn't one-shot headshot, despite it saying that you probably could. It looked like you could. So I'm still salty about that. And then now, back in Operation Surgeon, whenever you first got changed, you had to put on the extended barrel to get the one-shot headshot. So now, automatically comes with a one-shot headshot, which I can greatly appreciate, and I like that change. Alright, maybe it's going to be a little bit good, but hey, you already had extended barrel for it, so it's kind of like whatever. I already had a one-shot headshot to begin with, but now it just comes with it automatically. So, extended barrel may not be useful. I don't know if it gives you if you put on I don't even know if the FN Fall still has the extended barrel, but if you could put on the extended barrel still, I wonder if you still have a 2-shot lamp. Highly doubt it, because that kind of ruins the purpose of the nerf, but whatever. Also, 3-shot minimum with the FN Fall. FN Fall is still probably going to be really good, but it does feel weird to see these battle rifles in the game from being a 2-shot minimum for the longest time, like practically ever since their existence, being taken down to 3-shot minimum, which other assault rifles can do. And now I'm kind of like in a position where I'm like, what is really the purpose of taking along the battle rifle? You know what I mean? Because it's like, yeah, you could get one-shot headshot. I get that. But at the same time, I could just grab a faster fire rate, lower recoil, and just more consistently hit my shots. You know what I'm saying? So, battle rifles are kind of a weird place. They have a place. I can see why they'd be good. I can see why you'd want to take an assault rifle over one. I can see why you'd take a battle rifle over one. But, still kind of weird. Also, we got the biggest buff to the infant fall that we'll ever see. Velocity of 2,700 to 2,702. Whoop-de-doo. Range went from 2,600 to 3,020. Ergonomics went from 38 to 30. And recoil increased from 55 to 65. So, recoil nerf, but one-shot headshot. I'd say FN Fall probably came out on top on this deal, because one-shot headshot, but 3-shot man. It has a fast fire rate, so just hit your shots and you'll be good. FN Fall is still probably great. Alright, now here's going to be the very upsetting part of this update for me, which will be the snipers. M24 went from a headshot damage of 300 to 127, which it sounds like a really big deal, but you're still one-shotting head. I don't know why I had 300, doesn't really mean anything. Torso went from 175 to 68. Jesus Christ. Arms and legs damage went from 85 to 48. Now, some of you people who've been around for my channel for quite a while, you would know that back in Viper, I was a major sniper main. Like, big time sniper main. Like, XM was my pride and joy. I don't use it very much anymore. And honestly, back then, I didn't really think the XM was very overpowered. Now I kinda do, because of all the nerfs it's gotten. And granted, I do not like all the nerfs it's gotten, but they definitely were deserved now that I look back on it. Yeah, I still don't feel bad. I don't feel bad at all for doing it, but still, kind of sucked. So, 2-shot torso, the M24 now, and a 3-shot to limbs. I don't really hate the fact that it's a 3-shot to limbs now, but 2-shot to torso does feel pretty weird. At the same time, like, I'm such in a weird spot with the M24 because it's like, it still works. It's still viable. If you hit your headshots, it's gonna be great. But at the same time, why would I take an M24 when I can take an FN fall? Like think about it. FN fall, one shot headshot. M24, one shot headshot. Torso, two shot. FN fall, two shot. Arms and legs, three shot. FN fall, three shot. Like, why would I take an M24 over an FN fall? M24 is bolt action. Yeah, you can make the argument, oh, but it has less recoil because you're not, firing. Automatic, okay? You're gonna be a lot better off with an automatic gun than a sniper in PvP. Like, I don't know. I don't feel like the M24 really has a place anymore. It's more of just a showing off kind of gun, which I guess kind of what it already was before, because XM was just you could shoot someone in the arms and kill them. So I don't know. Maybe it's just a showing off gun at this point. I don't know, but it feels weird. At the same time, it also feels appropriate. I don't know. That made no sense at all, probably in this entire rant, but yeah. Velocity went from 2,200 to 2,733. Range went from 2,500 to 3,055. Ergonomics from 31 to 25. Recoil from 70 to 50. Doesn't really matter because it's a bolt action gun. You're not going to really notice the recoil. Anyways, next up we have the MP5 with a headshot damage going from 65 to 46, so it's a 3-shot instead of being a 2-shot, which not a bad change if you ask me. Torso from 35 to 33, so no longer a 3-shot, but rather a 4-shot. Arms and legs stayed the same at 25, so it goes from being a 3-shot to a 4-shot. Now, I know some of my keen eye viewers, or keen hearing viewers, you may have noticed that I talked about the P2K being terrible because it was a 3 to a 4-shot. Yes, because it's a slow fire rate gun. The MP5 beams. This gun beams, has a fast fire. Like, MP5 can get away with it because it has a way faster fire than the P2K, and has lower recoil. Like, I don't like the P2K, man. Is it salvageable? Yes. Is it a starter gun, so maybe it kind of makes sense why it will be worse than other guns in this category might be better because they're worth that has a higher price? Yes. Do I like the P2K? No. I don't think I ever will. Unless it gives a 2-shot headshot, maybe I'll reconsider it. 2-shot, maybe like a 4-shot everywhere else. I'd be fine. But as for now, yeah. That's just how I'm going to be with it for quite a while. Velocity went from 1,400 to 1,343, so slight decrease. Range from 900 to 606. Kind of weird change there, but I'm probably not going to see that much of a difference between range and velocity, if I'm being honest with you. Ergonomics went from 50 to 50, recoil from 35 to 35. So, not a lot changed with the MP5, besides losing a 2-shot headshot. And a 3-shot to the torso. So, yeah. MP5 still probably going to be pretty good, okay? That's all I'm going to say. Maybe slightly worse, but still practically the same gun. Now, AK-103, oh, I'm so glad this gun got nerfed. I am so glad this gun got nerfed. You all do not understand. I am tired of the AK-103 meta. I am very, very happy to see this. Headshot damage went from 92 to 94. Already off to a bad start, considering I was just talking about it got nerfed. Torso went from 66 to 51, so still a 2-shot. Alright, so basically the same. But here's the big thing. Arms from 46 down to 26, and legs from 40 to 26. Yeah! No longer 3-shot men, rather a 4-shot men to the arms and legs, and that's what people are going to be mostly hitting. Oh, man. I don't know if you can still... I don't think there's an extended barrel still for this gun. I think they removed it, so I don't think you're going to be able to get 1-shot headshot on the AK-103 anymore. But still 2-shot head, 2-shot torso, and a 4-shot to limbs. Not that bad of a gun. Okay, I'm going to go and say that now. AK-103, still decent, but considering where it was, just... Oh, man. Considering it used to have a 1-shot headshot, used to be a 2-shot to torso and arms if you had extender barrel on, it was really, really good. That was the meta for quite a while. So, yeah, I'm glad it's gone. Very, very glad it's gone. Velocity went from 1,850 to 2,922. Range from 1,425 to 1,863. Ergonomics from 40-40. Recoil went from 46 to 53. So I'm glad it got a recoil increase because honestly, AK-103 was busted. I mean, it was busted back in Viper. That was like, a lot of people thought that was the meta. And I can't really blame you because it was really, really good. And how is it just getting nerfed now, okay? Like, granted, yes, it got balance changes a while back, but like, Now we got something meaningful, you know what I mean? Like, the only thing they changed back before this update was that, oh yeah, you can't two-shot to the legs anymore with extended barrel. That was the only thing they really changed. So I'm glad I'm glad it's a 4-shot now, so I'm trying to say. Is it still a good gun? Most likely. I haven't really used it very much ever since the update, but judging from the stats, 2-shot to a 4-shot, not that bad. That's still, I'd say it's still probably pretty good. Decent fire rate, all things considered, but there's definitely better options out there. Now we have the AUG 1. I'm pretty sure it got identical stats to the AUG 3, so yeah. AUG 1 is a headshot damage of 89 to 88, not that big of a deal, still 2-shot ahead. Torso 52 to 46, now it's a 3-shot to torso. Arms and legs damage, arms went from 38 damage to 34, legs damage from 35 to 34, still a 3-shot, man. So, nothing really changed there. Velocity from 3,182 to 3,097, range from 2,130 to 2,614, ergonomics from 46 to 42, recoil from 34 to 32. Nice changes to the AUGs. I'm pretty sure they got the same treatment, if I remember correctly. I don't really see the AUG 3 on my list just yet, but I'm sure we'll get around to it pretty soon. Yeah. Yeah, now I see it. Okay. Um, yeah, it looks like they got the exact same treatment. The AUG 1 and AUG 3, which kind of makes sense because they're basically the exact same guns before. Yeah. Same treatment from what I noticed, so AUG's still 3-shot man. It just lost the 2-shot torso. I mean, 2-shot head, 3-shot man, pretty decent fire rate. Not too bad recoil, all things considered. I'd still appreciate it if they'd finally fix the fact that I could put a grip on the handguards on the AUGs, because for some reason every time I get into a game, it gets removed. So, please fix that. But other than that, AUGs are still probably going to be pretty decent. Maybe like A tier. You know, really good guns. Speaking of similar to AUGs, the LD5A2, headshot damage of 88, torso of 46, arms and legs of 34, velocity of 3,105, range of 2,621, ergonomics of 44, recoil of 34. Now, these are the exact same damage stats. I don't know if you all noticed. LD5A2 has the exact same damage stats as the AUG, so 2 shots to the head, 3-shot everywhere else. It also has lower recoil. Now, you might be thinking that's kind of weird because AUG 1 and AUG 3 have 32 stock recoil while the LD5A2 has 34. Well, this is because the LD5A2 can actually put on grips, unlike the AUGs. So, there you go. Lower recoil. I believe slightly better, very, very slightly better velocity, very, very slightly better range. So you can practically consider the LD5A2 a direct upgrade to the AUG 1 and AUG 3, despite being, I think, 1,000 cash cheaper. But other than that, they're basically the exact same gun. I just put the LD5A2 like right along with the AUGs on a tier list, at A tier. So, yeah, whatever. Now, along with another new gun that we got was the Scar L. Headshot damage of 82, torso of 42, arms and legs of 30. Just right off the bat, this gun's just super bland. Like, this is a gun that whenever I think of the update, I literally can't even remember it got added. Seriously, I forgot. I forgot it even got added to the game. This gun is so forgettable. It's so just mediocre. And it's not even like mediocre as a good thing. It's just mediocre just for the sake of being mediocre. It's mediocre and forgettable rather than being mediocre, but it's good. That makes any sense at all. Velocity of 2,808, range of 2,911, ergonomics of 45, recoil of 42. So very, very basic stats. 2-shot head, 3-shot to the torso, and 4-shot to the arms and legs. No, you do not gain any hits to kill with extended barrel. I checked. Doesn't do anything. So you're just better using your cash on something else. The fire rate isn't even all that crazy either. Just grab an M4A1. Honestly, this is the takeaway from like a lot of the new guns that they've added or the changes they've done. It's just grab an M4A1. It's cheap, customizable, high fire rate, 3-shot min, pretty good gun. Please don't nerf it. Please. It's a decent gun. Just let it be good. Now we speaking of another new gun, we have the Groza 1, also known as the OTS something or another. I don't have it yet, but luckily I was able to ask a friend of mine to show the stats for it, and they were obliged. Shout out to Credible. I don't know if you'll ever watch the video, but shout out to Credible for giving me an image of the stats for it. Thank you. Link in the description. Go check them out. Make some alright content. Good content. Shouldn't say alright. Hope he doesn't hate that. Anyways. Headshot damage 94, torso of 51, arms and legs of 26, velocity of 2,292, range of 1,663, ergonomics of 40, recoil of 44. So 2-shot to head and torso, 4-shot to the arms, 4-shot to the limbs. I don't know the fire rate. I don't really know how this gun plays out yet because I don't have it. So I can't really talk about this gun too much if I'm being honest with you. But 2-shot to the head and torso, and a 4-shot everywhere else sounds pretty good. And from what I remember, the Groza is a pretty fast-firing gun. So do with that knowledge as you will. Basically, it might just be a better HK. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really have much to say on the Groza. But on a gun that I do have a lot to say about is the AA-12. Headshot damage increase from 29 to 30. Alright, not that big of a deal. Torso from 21 to 18. Arms damage from 17 to 13. Legs increase from 11 to 13. Velocity change from 1,100 to 1,313. A range increase to 465 to 472. Ergonomics change from 49 to 27. And recoil increase from 20 to 21. Still a 4-shot pellet to the head to kill. I should have done the math beforehand. I'm not going to do it now. Do it yourself. I don't have time for this. Fire rate was drastically buffed from what I've noticed. The spread was also drastically increased along with the Benelli. And its extended mags were removed. So it's kind of hard to tell whether the AH-12 got buffed or nerfed. It used to be salvageable at range. In fact, it was kind of a joke that the A12 was always a sniper. Terrible at it, but that was kind of the point of the joke. It was salvageable. It worked at a range somehow. Granted, it definitely fell off at a range. Like, it definitely took like maybe about 4 shots to actually get a kill at a range, but kind of worked. And now, from what I've noticed, you kind of just have to literally spray and pray at any distance to kind of hope to get a kill. Still going to be really good in CQC, of course, because it's a freaking automatic shotgun. I don't know what you expected. Please stop complaining about the shotguns being good in CQC. This is just a PSA at this point. It's a shotgun. What do you want it to do? Do you want to go back to being a sniper? Like, really? Just shut up. So, AA-12 kind of got an interesting change. It's gone from being the best sniper to the best SMG in my opinion. So yeah, it works. I don't know. It's very very strange now. Like it got worse. Is what I'm trying to say, but it also got better. The AA-12 is in a very very weird position. I would much rather take the Benelli over it if I'm looking for consistency. But if you're looking for like a point blank stopping power, grab an AA-12. You'll be good. Now we have the AK-74, which the headshot damage got lower from 89 to 86, torso from 58 to 44, arms and legs went from 42 to 42, arms damage went from 42 to 31, legs damage went from 40 to 31. Now, AK-74, I'm not gonna lie, I know that the AK-74 was super super busted like the AK-103 was back in Viper. However, I missed the 74. Like, I'm just being honest. Granted, they both deserve the nerfs. They still deserve the nerfs. But I'm sad. I'm sad about it. I wish it didn't have to happen. I don't know why the 74 is different from the 103, but I miss the old 74. I'll admit it. Despite how stupidly busted that gun was, but it was a lot of fun to use. Still decent to use. 2-shot head, 3-shot torso, 5-shot to limbs now. If I remember. No, 4-shot to limbs. My bad. 4-shot to limbs. Still decently low recoil. It's a base recoil of 42. That didn't get changed, by the way. Velocity was 2,175, 2,887. Range from 1,240 to 2,667. Ergonomics from 50 to 40. Recoil stayed at 42. So, it's still a decent starter pick is what I'm trying to say. Grab the AK-74 if you're just starting out in BRM5. I would highly recommend it. Definitely decently low recoil. It will treat you well. With or without attachments, you'll be fine. In fact, I still see the AK-74 used not as much, but still quite a bit from what I've seen. Next up, we have the AUG 3. I've already covered this from the AUG 1. It's the same thing. Headshot 89, 88. Torso 52, 46. Arms from 30 to 34. Legs from 35 to 34. Velocity from 3,182 to 3,097. Range from 2,130 to 2,614. Ergonomics from 46 to 42. Recoil from 34 to 32. Same thing. Whatever. Moving on. AKS-74 UN, also known as the Krinkov, I believe. Also used to be known as the AK-74U, but, you know, we don't talk about that anymore, I guess. Headshot damage from 84 to 74, so still a 2-shot head, not that bad. Torso went from 48 to 36, still a 3-shot torso, okay. Arms went from 34 to 27, and legs went from 31 to 27. Here's kind of my problem with the AK-74. The AK-74 was always one of the SMG that had more recoil, but had better stopping power. Like, that was the appeal of using the AK-74U over the other SMGs. Other than that, it was just kind of a gun you kind of forgot about. But then again, I guess with some of the other nerfs that have been given out to the fact that MP5 and P90 no longer 2-shot headshot. P90 couldn't 2-shot headshot before, but it could be back in Viper. Whatever, not the point. So I guess now the new appeal is that it's a 2-shot to the head and 3-shot to the torso, but it's a 4-shot limbs. I guess it's still good. I'm just debating with myself at this point. I guess the AK-74U is still pretty good, but older version was better is what I'm trying to say. I miss the older version, okay? I'm just gonna be honest like it. I'm just gonna be honest like that. I kind of wish it still had a 3-shot to going, but it's probably for the best that's gone. Velocity went from 1,805 to 2,370, range from 990 to 2,193, ergonomics went from 54 to 51, recoil to 45 to 48. Alright, now here's going to be a big point that some people surprisingly didn't even know got changed when the update happened, is the SVU. It is no longer fully automatic. It is now more of a DMR type. It's semi-automatic, still pretty good, to be honest with you. It's basically just a battle rifle. Like, that's all it is. Yes, DMR, whatever, but still basically a battle rifle. Headshot damage went from 150 to 124, still 1-shot headshot, that big of a deal. Torso went from 95 to 74. I don't know if it still has extended barrel, but you're definitely not getting a 1-shot to the torso if you put it on anymore, if it still has it. Arms damage went from 75 to 46, like the other went from 80 to 46, now it's a 3-shot, and just like the other battle rifles in the game, it feels weird to go from a 2-shot man to a 3-shot man, but also the SVU desperately needed a nerf, because that gun was stupid busted. Very, very high fire rate, packed a punch, and it was a 2-shot. Well, it was a 1-shot to the head and torso, and 2-shot to the limbs, fully automatic, which was better than the other battle rifle in the game, the FN Fallen Star 8, and I guess the AK-103 counts as well, but whatever. So I'm glad it got changed, is what I'm trying to say, but I haven't really used it since the nerf, so I don't know how fast it fires now. Hopefully it's still decent. I'm glad it still has 1-shot headshot. The changes that was made to the SVU were really, really good, and I agree with them. I think they were a good change. However, it still feels kind of weird for it to be changed, and it's definitely going to take some getting used to. Velocity went from 2,700 to 2,654. Range went from 3,900 to 3,913. Ergonomics went from 40 to 32. Recoil went from 100 to 76. So you got a recoil decrease at least. We got that going for you, I guess, but not going to matter too much with the semi-automatic gun. Could be wrong, though. XM 2010, also known as the M2010, I believe, if I remember correctly in this game. I don't even call it the M2010, I just call it the XM. Headshot damage went from 300 to 190, not that big of a deal. Torso went from 200 to 112, not that big of a deal, so it's still 1-shot to the heads and torso. But the big deal is that it went from arms damage of 115 to 71, which, I don't really like that too much. Legs went from 85 to 71, so now it's basically the M24, but XM 2010. So, 2-shot to the limbs, 1-shot to the head and torso, little bolt action. XM still is probably going to be pretty good. It's just going to take a little bit more skill. So, yeah. I don't even use the XM anymore, so I can't really complain about it too much. I definitely, back in Viper, that was my main, but yeah. XM's got a lot of nerfs ever since Operation Resurgence rolled out, and at first I hated it, but now I've just moved on from being a sniper main to just kind of rifles. I feel like I mostly just use rifles at this point. Velocity went from 3,200 to 2,844, range from 3,500 to 3,951, ergonomics went from 25 to 22, recoil went from 70 to 64, recoil decrease doesn't really matter because it's a bolt action, whoop-de-doo. Now we have the UMP45, which is a gun that I am kind of interested to see what they really did with it, because I hope it's not... Oh, wait, hold up. Okay, never mind, this is interesting. Headshot damage went from 70 to 60. Torso went from 35 to 43. Arms and legs damage stayed the same at 32. If it still has this extended barrel, someone needs to check this for me, because I should have checked this before I even started recording, but too far in now. Extended barrel, if you still put it on, do you get a 3-shot min or no? Like that's what I'm curious to know. So basically, the UMP-45 got a buff to damage, but you're still going to be doing the same hits to kill anyway, so I mean, yeah, whatever. Yes, it got a buff, I guess you could say that. Still 2-shot head. Well, it got 10 less damage to the head, and got like, what, 8 more damage to the torso? Yeah, whatever. Velocity got decreased to 1,500, Range decreased to 1,479. Good lord. That's that's gonna be terrible to use, I'm sure. I hope the bullet drop isn't terrible on that, but eesh. Granted, it is only like 200 more cash than the P2K, so maybe I should cut some slack, but yeah. Ergonauts went from 52 to 51, and recoil from 45 to 39. I like the recoil change. I gotta admit, given the a little bit of love, it got a weird mix of buff and nerf. I'll just have to use it really to figure out whether it's got better or worse. So far, it kind of looks better, but that velocity and range might not sound like much, but bullet drop is definitely going to be a big thing in open world. So maybe not that big of a deal in PvP, but open world definitely. All right, we finally got down to the pistol. So, how long has it been? 41 minutes. We finally just got through the primary, so this is already off to a great start. High power went from a headshot damage of 69 to 41, torso of 44 to 29, arms damage from 28 to 21, legs damage from 24 to 21. Velocity got changed from 1,245 to 1,242, so 3 less velocity. Range from 485 to 562, ergonomics from 58 to 63, recoil from 38 to 52. 3-shot to the head, 4-shot to the torso, and 5-shot to the arms and legs. I wouldn't use it. Okay, I'm gonna go and say this now to you all. Don't use any other pistol besides the one that I'm about to talk about. The Deagle! Headshot damage of 140 to 110. Torso got increased to 59 to 71. Arms and legs damage got increased from 42 to 48. Well, arms got increased from 42 to 48. Legs got increased from 40 to 48. Velocity of 1,540 to 1,374. Range of 666 to 604. Ergonomics of 42 to 47. Recoil of 75 to 71. Now, here's my problem. Like, I have such a big problem with this. The Deagle has made every single pistol irrelevant. Like, seriously, with all the nerfs that has been given to other pistols, the Deagle just blows every single gun out of the water. Like, seriously, probably like every single pistol is now probably like D tier or C tier. Well, the Deagle's S tier. There's like no reason to use any other secondary, except for maybe one, which we'll get into later, but you probably already figure it out. So... 1-shot head, 2-shot, 3-shot to limbs. Now you might be thinking, okay, 3-shot to limbs, that's fine. You know, it's got its slow fire rate. Well, guess what? You put on extended barrel to 2-shot to limbs now. Why? Why? Like, it's so unbalanced. You gotta, like, why did we go from balancing the battle rifles to be like, alright, I want like a 1-shot headshot, 2-shot torso, but a 3-shot to limbs, because 2-shot to limbs is kind of overpowered. But we're like, hey, let's put the extended barrel on the Deagle and make it be a 2-shot to limbs. But it's okay, because it's a secondary, and it's semi-automatic. Why did you do this? Why? Like, it's so overpowered now. It's like the best secondary in the game. It's gonna be so good for finishing people off. And honestly, you could probably even rock it as a primary at this point. Like, there's... Why? I hate this. Please. Reverse the arms and legs damage. Make it a 3-shot minimum for all things good and holy. That's not a good change. Okay? I don't know if it's an accident or what, but just... That's not a good change. I can just say that now. 1-shot headshot, 2-shot min on a secondary, you do not need that. That is stupidly busted, especially when you consider that Deagle, or secondary I mean. A secondary is meant to just kind of either A, finish off your opponent, or B, be a last resort if you're going to have primary ammo. The Deagle should not be able to be rocked as a primary, which it can be right now. It's better than the SVU. It has better damage than the SVU, and the SVU is semi-automatic. The Deagle is a better SVU. Why? Please, reverse the arms and legs damage on the Deagle. It's all I ask of you. Please. Okay. M9. Headshot damage from 69 to 42. torso from 44 to 30, arms and legs damage from 24 to 22, velocity of 1,250 to 1,253, 3 increase in velocity, just like the high power for whatever reason. Range from 495 to 566, ergonauts from 54 to 63, recoil of 38 to 54. It's whatever. M9's always been mediocre, but now it's even worse. 3-shot headshot, 4-shot to the torso, and a 5-shot to the limbs. It's pretty much the same as the high power, but you have you don't even have better recoil. You don't really have much going for with the M9s. Basically, just all these pistols suck now. Okay, just use the Deagle. That's basically what I'm just gonna tell you at this point. Makarov went from headshot aim of 65 to 36, so at least it's a 3-shot head, which that got something going for it. But hey, guess what? Every single other pistol can do that. Torso from 30 to 26, arms from 24 to 20, legs from 22 to 20. So it's a 5-shot minimum now, just like the M9. Torso's a 4-shot. Makarov sucks. That's all I gotta say. Velocity went from 1,410 to 942. Range from 450 to 523. Around 54 to 71. Recoil 43 to 51. Also, 84 drum mag got changed. You no longer have any reserve ammo, so you just have the 84 bullets in the mag, which I kind of like. I'm gonna be honest with you. So yes, you have 84 bullets in the mag, but it's kind of a good trade-off, okay? Because you don't have to reload, but you just have that. So pick your poison, really. That's all I gotta say with that one. Personally, I don't know if it's really worth it because the drum is really heavy. But I mean, I guess if you need the 84 bullets, go ahead. Do it for the memes. Like if you're rocking on Makarov, you might as well just put on the drum because you're already doing it for the memes probably. M17 went from the headshot aim of 66 to 41, torso from 48 to 29, arms from 28 to 21, legs from 26 to 21. That's a I can't do math right now. 3-shot headshot, 4-shot torso, and a 5-shot to limbs. Whatever. Velocity went from 1,250 to 1,242, range 495 to 568, ergonauts from 52 to 68, recoil 45 to 50, USP 45, 78 to 47, headshot damage, torso damage from 40 to 34, arms damage went from 36 to 25 to legs to 34 to 25. So it went from being a 2-shot headshot, it went from being a 2-shot to a 3-shot minimum gun, which is really good for a pistol, all things considered, to being a 3-shot minimum to a 4-shot minimum. Which, base damage isn't that bad. If there wasn't the Deagle. Like, if the Deagle just didn't exist, USB 45 might be one of the best, and that kind of has an interesting trade-off because the velocity and range are terrible. Like, the bullet drop on this gun is terrible. So, the Deagle didn't exist, USB 45 could be very well balanced, because yes, you'd have a good damage amount, however, you'd have a higher damage than other pistols, but you would also have bullet drop, so whatever. Too bad the Deagle exists, so it doesn't really matter. Velocity is from 805 to 854, range from 450 to 434, ergonauts from 46 to 61, recoil from 56 to 59, not that really big of a deal. Now we have the BE75 Auto, or if you're cool, we call it the CC75. Headshot damage from 52 to 41. Thank God, because any nerf that this gun gets, I greatly appreciate, because we should not have an auto secondary in the game, and you cannot convince me otherwise. So, 2-shot headshot to a 3-shot headshot, which I greatly appreciate. Torso from 30 to 29. Whatever. Same 3-shot. No, 4-shot, I mean. And it went from being a 26 minimum damage to, 26 arms damage to 21, and legs damage from 24 to 21. So it's no longer a 4-shot to the arms; it's rather a 5-shot, and there's also a 5. Still is a 5-shot to the legs. So you have a 3-shot to a 4-shot to a 5-shot. I greatly appreciate. We should not have it. You really cannot convince me that we should have the CZ75 in the game. I hate that gun so much. Like, ever since it's been added. Granted, it's got a lot of nerfs, and it's significantly worse from when it was first added. But that stigma has stayed with me over the years. Velocity was from 1,245 to 1,242. It lost 3 velocity. Other guns have gained 3 velocity. This one lost 3. What is up with the velocity here? Range from 485 to 561, ergonauts 54 to 64. Recoil got lowered from 60 to 54, but you're probably not going to notice that big of a difference because it still burns like crazy. G17 went from headshot damage 64 to 40, torso from 42 to 28, arms in 25 to 21, legs in 23 to 21. Kind of interesting because it went from being a 4-shot to the arms to now being a 5-shot. Rather now it's a 4-shot to the torso, and it's a 3-shot to the head. So you got a 4-shot to, I mean, a 3-shot to a 4-shot to a 5-shot. Like pretty much all the pistols now. So honestly, the pistols just come down to preference. Like if you're gonna use anything other than the CZ75 auto or the Deagle, the pistols come down to preference. Or the Makarov. The Makarov for the memes. CZ75 if you're rocking like a sniper or something, so that we can have like a pocket primary. I said, just rock the Deagle, man. Like the Deagle's so bust. I hate this dude. I hate the secondary balancing so much. I was fine with it if it was like a 1-shot headshot, 2-shot torso, and a 3-shot to limbs, because at least then you could be like, all right, yeah, see, it's got some kind of, it's got skill, it's got skill. If you can hit your headshots, it's good. Personally, if it was me, I'd make the Deagle a 1-shot headshot, 3-shot to the torso, arms, and legs. Granted, that seems a little bit harsh, but if you can hit your headshots, the Deagle is really, really good. And with a high velocity and high range, it's just a skill-based primary, okay? If you can do well with it, it's going to be a very, very trusty sidearm. However, if you can't, you're going to be much better off with a gun that, yes, does less damage, but also fires faster, and it's probably going to be more consistent for you. So, that's a little rant for the end of the video. Anyways, thank you all for watching. This video has gone on for way too long. Oh my god, 51 minutes. This might actually be the longest video I'm ever going to put up on my channel. So, thank you to anyone who stayed to the very, very end. I love you very much for doing so. Here's a little kiss for you. No homo.